Here is a video to help you prepare for the ISN test on atoms in the periodic table of elements. On page 77, you should have taped the periodic table of elements. On page 78, there should be the unit title page, Atoms in the Periodic Table of Elements. Again, your title page is on page 78. On page 79 is the table of contents. On page 80 is the vocabulary for atoms. On page 81 should be your atomic theory. And on page 82, the development of the atomic theory class notes. Again, yours should be completed as I was giving the notes, so yours will be filled in. On page 83, there should be your drawing of the gold foil experiment. On page 84 should be your fake book on your atomic theorist. 85 should be your atomic theory timeline with pictures of the different ways the theorist thought the atom may have looked like. And on page 86 should be your handwritten atomic theory web quest. On 87 should be the marble shooter data table. And on 88, the marble shooter investigation lab sheet. On page 89 should be the atomic theories warm-up, where you came up with a food to represent each atomic theory. And page 90 should be your depth and complexity icons. 91 should be a warm-up practicing with the depth and complexity icons on big idea or main idea or words of discipline. If you're missing any of these warm-ups, the warm-up link is on the homepage of our website. Page 92 is the atomic structure class notes. Page 93 is the practice making atomic models, where you made atomic models with beans and different ways to represent the atom. And again, that's on page 93. 94 is your Bohr practice drawings. 95, your atom models of ion and isotope practice. Page 96, your notes on ions and isotopes. Yours will be handwritten. Mine have typed because I printed the PowerPoint, but yours will be handwritten on page 96. Page 97 is your practice with valence electrons. And page 98, your notes on using valence electrons and how to calculate them. Page 99 is reading a periodic square to model a Bohr model of an atom. And page 100 is Bill Nye atoms. Page 101 are elements and their symbols practice. And page 102, the elements iPad app we did with the iPads. Page 103 is your notes for your element that you were assigned. And page 104 should be your element project directions on the mini project we did, where you designed a Bohr model, a mini poster, and wrote a paragraph about your assigned element. Page 105 should be a warm-up in our notes on group and family of the periodic table, where you colored in your periodic table where the metals, nonmetals, metalloids, and inert gases are on the table. Page 106 are your periodic table notes. These should be completed on front and back, as this was a homework assignment, so make sure your periodic table notes on page 106 are completed. Page 107 should be the periodic table of emotions, where you cut out the different elements of emotion and filled them in on the table using the clues from page 108. The periodic table of elements must be completed based on the clues and glued into the periodic table of elements squares. Page 109 was a warm-up where we analyzed the emotional element periodic table, and we also created on page 109 element symbol cheat sheet so we can memorize the first 36 elements. Page 110 is your notes on the periodic table. We took these in class on the way we organized the periodic table, as well as our notes on metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, and as well as the noble gases. Again, your notes will be handwritten as I've printed the PowerPoint. Page 111 is the element bingo page, and we played bingo to memorize those first 36 elements. Page 112 is your notes on how to draw an electron dot diagram. Page 113 should be your electron dot diagram periodic table, where you created them in the first 18. And again, make sure your key is completed and all your electron dot diagrams are filled in. Page 114 has the directions to the electron dot diagram periodic table. Page 115 has a warm-up from 12.5, where you looked at the comparison between nonmetals and metals. And on page 115, you also have your element walk, where you run around and saw everyone's project, writing down something new about an element you did not know. And lastly, page 116 should be your completed study guide. If you are missing any of this, these items are attached to the agenda for our Science 8 page. They can be printed out. Please make sure everything is completed. There are no missing blanks in your ISN for this ISN test.